Hey guys, welcome back here to the channel. I wanted to cover a little bit about a game called Last Oasis. If you're thinking about playing it, please don't. Let's just start there. It is dead, dead, dead. It's gone completely silent. The posts on it are terrible. I made a bunch of videos on it, and so I was talking with my brother about it. We were talking about the good times we had on it, and we're like, well, let's go circle back on that one and check it out, like we do with most games. Um, if you're not familiar, Last Oasis was a survival MMO. Really fun concept. Combat was pretty dang good, honestly. Super simple, but still fun. The walkers were amazing. It ran really well. The grappling ran really well. All around, like just a really good time. There were a few kinks on it, but when it came out, there was a lot of promise. They were following Donkey Crew. They seemed like a really dedicated small team of devs. And this game followed the same similar trajectory of like all survival games or all small dev games where you go there's you're riding the wave. There's comes out huge peak, then you dip down when there's nothing really to do after a few months, and then something new comes out, and then you're back up, and you're doing all that. Um, so we did that. I played launch, season one, two, three. And then I skipped four, came back for five because there was a lot of big updates for as far as they kind of introduced a lot of PVE elements to it, is basically what a lot of my videos were about. Because that's about the time I started just like making videos for fun. Um, but let's talk a little bit about it. So first off, usually I like to go to Reddit for games. This gives you pretty raw understanding of like the community. So a lot of these games have fantastic communities, and that's what makes a game. Um, Sometimes for me. So unfortunately, there's no more Reddit for it. Don't know what happened to it. This is like a small one that I was able to find, but there's a whole 157 people for a game that at launch started at 33,000. So there should be a Reddit with a few thousand people. We were looking at my personal Discord. I have a lot of games that I play and make videos for in there for any updates, right? So I noticed there really hasn't been any updates. So I was like, let me go swing on through their Discord because I did see it in my list of Discord channels still. Yeah, really, the last thing to come out was November of last year. Okay, 6 months. That's not like hey, we're completely abandoning the game, but I mean, there hasn't even been like a server restart or anything like that, like normally you would get. There's usually like a lot of stuff on big MMOs like this. They're gonna have problems. You got to do little things, but unfortunately, there's like nothing. Um, there is still people, and everybody in here is just talking about basically how they feel screwed out of this game because there's a lot of promise. If you go to their page, let's see, we got it right here. Uh, they talked about it being in early access, and I hate early access for Steam. Like, I think it's a wonderful thing, but it's like a double-edged sword. You have people that take advantage of it. They don't have to really be responsible for anything that they say they're gonna do when it's in early access. It's whatever. We got your money. That's all. That's it. 12 to 24 months. Well, it has been, almost four, it's been 3 years. We're going into, gonna be in the 4 years here before we know it. And there's a whole whopping, I want to say 110 people on it. So nobody's on it. And that sucks because it was a really fun game. It had really good moments. And I did a little research into it. Looks like they are coming out with this game called Bellwright is now their new thing. God, yep. So hopefully also this stops people from buying Bellwright because I cannot support a game with a developer that just completely abandons games. And obviously, there was a game prior to Last Oasis that I didn't know about. It's a medieval game. You could probably look it up, and it will. It came out in like 2015, and it really follows the same pattern. It started to die. They got out from under it and went on to developing Last Oasis. And Last Oasis lasted a few years, and now they're developing Bellwright, which seems to be like almost a combination of both. You look at the combat in all three of them; it's very similar. This is just like a medieval version, so they're like going back. And if you look at the discussion board for Bellwright, nothing in it. Um, People just talking about you know, just talking about basically how Donkey Crew abandons games and stuff like that. And there's even talk in the Last Oasis community hub about people being banned for bringing it up. Usually I've never made like a video where it wasn't about gameplay or something like that. Uh, but I'm hoping that this video, so people see it. Even if I save one guy $30, like that'll be happy. That took me you know 8 minutes of my time to convince you not to buy into this, not to buy into Bellwright. Hopefully, I saved you $60. So you don't buy either game. It's a real bummer. They're pretty much silent at this point. People talking about again being banned um, from being off topic on the new community hub, um, and everybody's really just complaining, um, which it is what it is. There's no more Reddit. The Discord is pretty much empty. There's just again, it's just people in here complaining about the devs and everything, and there's no response from the devs. They don't obviously care that everybody's in here trashing them. I'm surprised that like this hasn't been shut down or these people aren't getting banned. Um, I'm sure that'll come next. Their Twitter, I used to like their Twitter because they were actually really on it about server, statuses and stuff like that. Like this was the quickest way to get to it and be like, oh shit, there's a server restart, or if there's at a launch server launch or at a new launch. There's always problems with games, and you could get the most up to date info. So it was actually really nice to have this, but in last post, October of last year. So silent there. Seems like they're going into Bellwright, and there is where that they sold out to Snail Games, which have a very terrible reputation as well. So I'll leave you to look into that. But hopefully you see this video and you just read the title and just don't buy either one of them. If you have any comments, if you got any testimony and you're seeing this, please leave it below. Maybe it'll help somebody, in the future. We can all, get together here and, save some people some money and some heartache. Anyways, guys, hope you all have a good day. Catch you guys on the next one.